name is Julian Baker and I am this week in Poland in Katowice, where I am undertaking some embalming of cadavers for my upcoming functional fascia dissection classes. Now I have to admit that I am not an embalmer by trade, and I've had to learn kind of the hard way on the job. So the reason I'm doing this is because a few years ago I saw a way of preparing cadavers for dissection that I was absolutely blown away by, and pretty much the only way to get that kind of embalming done is to do it myself. So there are two distinct methods of undertaking dissection. One is to use fresh, unfixed tissue cadavers. And this way of working is often held out as being superior, kind of the holy grail of dissection by many teachers, and also within surgical training as well. Having done it, I have to say that it really isn't the best way of working. And it's very instructional. It's also often very challenging and pretty unpleasant on longer dissection classes, especially towards the end of the week, as the tissues start to deteriorate with the results that you can imagine. In addition, the tissues that you're looking at within unfixed tissues aren't very, they're a bit wet, they're a bit soft, they're a bit sloppy, and they aren't really a good representation of what muscle and fascia and the general tissues are really like. The reason that people look to this way of working is because the only comparison they have is the second and more traditional way of cadaveric dissection, which is with the heavily formaldehyde-based cadavers, which are fairly stiff and they're grey. They use lots of formaldehyde and formalin, and they're designed to be kept around for years of study and handling in dissection labs. And again, that makes dissection and the study of traditional anatomy easier, but it's generally a poor representation of the human body. Both of these methods have their uses and their pluses, and have been around for a very long time, and these are the tissues and the dissection material that I started to learn on when I first started dissecting 12 years ago. There is, however, a third way, or a new way, apart from teal, which we're not going to talk about here, but this third way is a way superior to either of these, and it's developed by a chap called Ben Whitworth of the Dodge Corporation. And this way uses certain types of Dodge chemicals and makes for a very soft and very pliable yet fully embalmed cadaver with a little bit of tone to it, so you get a much better representation of those tissues. When I first saw it, I was so impressed with this that with Ben's help, I undertook to learn the technique. I bought the equipment, I bought a pump, I bought the tools to do it, and I'm now powering this method of embalming in Poland, where it's going to be used for all my classes here and hopefully more widespread. The advantages are that, of course, the tissue is embalmed, it's not deteriorating through the period of the week. The joints all move around, there's a huge amount of mobility, and there's a softness and flexibility to everything we touch. But also that has that tone that represents muscle and tissue, and it doesn't get softer the more we handle it. My classes are specifically designed with manual therapists and movement therapists involved, and with that in mind, they aim to get you a better understanding of connective relationships around the body. So it makes sense that I want the material that we're using to accurately reflect the content and the approach I'm trying to get across. So the recipe and the exact detail of the process is always changing. There's been a few recipes that have come and gone over the years, and it's under review on a constant basis, but I'm confident this is an amazingly useful method to help better understand how the body moves and functions as a whole, and give a realistic and accurate representation of the human form. So I've been coming out to Katowice for a while now. It's an interesting city. I've come to know it well, become fond of it. There's some lovely restaurants, there's some lovely architecture. It's a little known part of Poland. The university here in the medical school, very forward thinking, and the whole place is somewhere that I feel will really be able to move the whole body study and functional anatomy forwards into the future. So please come and join me in a Polish adventure, and come and see what really lies underneath that skin. I look forward to meeting you all really soon.